Welcome back, listeners, to more Doki Doki Precure on Medinor on YouTube. Yeah, it's all fun. I hope you're enjoying the show. I know I am. This week we were following Makoto, and I guess a little bit of cooking themed episode today. And to recap, the episode would be with Makoto going to Mana's place to film a cooking segment, and while they're there, they get attacked by a monster, usually Monster of the Week, as usual, and kind of Pure Sword joins the team temporary for a bit, and after that, we get a surprise at the very end to kind of add like a little twist at the end of the episode. So let's go into some, I guess, details of the episode, starting with some Idle World problems, which follows Makoto kind of singing, dancing, some of the same stuff we did last episode with episode 5, but this week we learn a little bit of backstory. You know, they reveal it where she's singing for a reason. She sings to find someone out there in the world that I guess likes her songs. So it hints back towards the reason why she's on Earth or in Earth or whatever you want to call it, looking for, I guess, who the enemies are looking for, the Queen or something like that. So they revealed that, which is kind of cool. I like that how they did that. And since she's been doing all this idle stuff lately, her manager kind of feels that it's time to change pace. You know, it's time to do something different. Keep it from being boring for her. So she sets up this, I guess, little cooking thing, because she learned that Mana, who was in the last episode, her dad owns a restaurant. So she's like, okay, well, you two seem to kind of hit it off, so why not do this? Obviously, I think because the manager knows that, you know, it's Heart and all her friends, not Heart, but Mana and all her friends were there, and obviously I think she knows they're the cure team. So. And they get there to cooking thing, and of course Mana's all happy and excited that Makoto's gonna be stopping by to film something, and her dad's going through the motions of teaching her how to cook, and she fails at everything. She starts off like trying to, I guess, wash vegetables, and she actually puts like dish detergent in a bowl and washes the fruit or vegetables, and he's like, you're doing it wrong. Like, that's not how you do it. So she's kind of like confused, like, what do you mean this is not how you wash vegetables? And then we get to, he's like, okay, I'll give you something easier. We're just gonna crack some eggs. And she takes like 6 eggs in her hands and just smashes them together and gets eggs all over the place. And everyone's kind of watching her like, wow, really? Even the Mana's grandpa kind of like face palms and like walks off because he can't believe what's going on either. And they cut from that to, he gives her, okay, we're gonna cut some bacon. And she takes the knife and cuts the table right in half, the cutting board in half, along with the bacon and everything. I thought that was pretty funny. And they're all making comments like, you're not a samurai, like just little things like that. Made me laugh. So yeah, as you can tell, Makoto is not a very good cook. Yeah, I guess her talents are elsewhere in singing and doing the idol stuff. Which, you know, it's kind of funny seeing that happen, but yeah, I guess you can't be perfect at everything. Let's see, after that, you know, yeah, she fails over and over again, and close to the end of the episode, or near the end of that day, she kind of stops, and then I guess the manager's kind of like, you know, there's 3 able people that could help you if you ask. You know, they're willing to be your friends if you want to help. They want to help you. And Mana and them kind of are waiting, and Makoto kind of walks in the room, kind of like asks them for help. You know, like she wants to be better, or as they would call it, I guess, train. She wants to train for the next shoot the next day. And Alice, Rika, and Mana kind of teach her various things, like cutting vegetables, cutting onions and things like that, cracking eggs, and they make an egg omelet, like the omelet rice thing, usual thing in anime. And she does all the steps right the next day. She's filming, she's getting it right, doing everything correct. And the only thing she messed up on, she made the omelet a little too big, but it's fine because Mana and all them were like, well, we made it for like 5 people, so it would have to be really big, which they didn't really mind. And of course, put an omelet rice without a little thing or heart on it or something like that. They do that, and they all kind of sit and eat for a bit. But that's before, you know, they get attacked by the monster of the week, which this time it's a giant like pig pig type monster. I guess, yeah, it's kind of weird seeing that. And of course, Ira's doing it again. And before we get, I guess, I might as well mention that while I'm talking about it. Ira and, all the evil side villains are just kind of chilling out, making fun of each other, that kind of thing. And Ira's just like aggravated that he has to go out and do it, but he does it anyway. And while the monster's like, this monster that week likes to eat anything in his path, so they had the big giant pig monster kind of eating everything, like the walls, anything he could get near, and the Precure kind of like, we had Cure Heart, which, there she's like, oh, you shouldn't eat that, you're gonna get a stomach ache, and Alice is kind of like, what poor table manners, just things like that, like they're basically talking to the little mini boss, but he wasn't really paying attention. And as he's eating, he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually he sees the omelet rice thing on the table, and he's trying to get to it, and Makoto's like, gets in like her oh hell no mode, and her manager actually transformed into a little purple fairy, which last episode kind of hinted towards this, which is fine. I like that. She was just like, I was waiting for you to say that, and they both kind of looked at each other and did the little transformation thing. And Cure Sword's transformation was cool. I like that one. It's kind of neat. And they of course two-shot this little pig monster, and they're all happy and getting along, and it's like Mono's about to shake hands with Makoto, and who shows up but the glasses dude from the big, I guess, triple villain guys we have now. So he shows up and he says a few lines and says something like disappear, and then the girls kind of vanish. He uses some kind of like magic on them, and while the room gets all healed up with the rainbow, the Precure gets sent away somewhere else. So with that, kind of ends the episode, but it makes you wonder, where did he send them? Well, in the preview they do show they're on Makoto's world, whatever you want to call it, but it's like wondering, did he send them back in time? Was it, before everything goes to hell for her world, or is it just current time, where he just sent them over there? So it kind of makes you wonder where all this stuff takes place. I mean, I could see him doing a time thing where it forces Makoto to open up and reveal her story to the girls, maybe her mission, why she's on Earth. I could see him doing that, kind of forces her to work together, because I know a few people like Grizzly Bear and everyone else has said episode 7 is basically something on the lines of someone leaves the team. So that kind of makes you wonder who leaves the team, which I'm obviously thinking it's going to be Cure Sword, because they're on her little world and she's probably like not wanting to get involved. She could be spin the whole, well, you three are kind of innocent from this story, you don't need to be pulled into this, but not realizing, since they're all Precure, they're all kind of in this together type of thing. And for something like a silly thing here at the end, the shipping with this series, I've noticed, some people pair certain characters up. We have like everyone's favorite right now, I think, is Makoto and Mana together, or Mana and Rika, both two are getting together. And then we have like the opposite, which would be, I would think, with Alice and Rika. They kind of, I know some people were saying they kind of act like the mother and father figure to Mana at times, because Mana's gonna do something, and Alice and Rika are kind of like, maybe you shouldn't. They're like kind of like her, like I said, her parents. Or maybe Rika and Makoto. We haven't seen them interact, which would be kind of fun to watch that. Or maybe you get Alice and Makoto together. You got the two. One's rich. Maybe they're both kind of wealthy in their own aspects. So you could have that. I mean, the combinations are pretty much endless. And I think I left out one would be Alice and Mana, but it's like, I don't feel that would be a good one either. So, episode 7, something about listening to my story. I think it's going to be more like her with Cure Sword revealing everything that happened to her. Why is she on Earth and things like that. So, who knows, they might get a second power up, but it's a little early. I think we're looking at more at maybe episode 15 or 10 down the road when they get their first power up attack. And I think this episode also gives a preview of the movie coming out, which is the All-Stars movie, which combines all the series. You have all the Precure from the very first series, Futura Precure, all the way to the Smile, which recently ended. So that is included in the opening, which I liked. It's pretty cool. The DX movies are part of the highlight of Precure for me. I've never seen a series that uses characters from the past. So. Anyway, that's been my episode review for episode 6. See you later.